Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I'm Marianne. Welcome to your June readings. I'm pretty excited because it is, well, today's June 4th. I'll be reading for every single sign. I'm actually on the beautiful earth, grounded, practical, fixed sign, Venus ruled sign of Taurus today. We've had a lot of influence of Taurus, which I'll speak about Taurus as I go along with this reading. And I do want to, for those that are new, thank you for stopping in. I really appreciate it. It's always nice to have new, seekers and dreamers and mystics coming and being a part of my channel. And what happens is I do read, like I said, for every sign, I call them my featured sign. I like to talk about the most important, influential, energetic aspects happening with the astrology. And then I pick a beautiful love connection of all forms right here in front of you as a conduit through spirit, letting you know about a certain person, another sign, another energy, or that energy that could be very much a big part of your personal, natal chart that's going to be affecting you in the month of June. And then I read the 4 weeks, a card per week, kind of letting you know what could happen, what guidance is there for you, maybe some tips and uplifting spiritual advice, perhaps. And I finished with a couple of oracles, the last one being the beautiful oracle divination of the rune. So let's get on with the show. What do you say? Oh, and the other thing I wanted to mention is I'm picking the decks per day. It's going to be what I feel and what my gut and my intuition is saying for me for that specific sign, which I kind of like. I don't usually use one specific deck throughout the whole month, but not this month. This month told me it's an individual situation, and that's how I still feel. And as I'm saying that to you, I'm going to reach over right now for you beautiful Taurus, and I'm going to be using the Gilded Tarot by Sarah Majetti. I hope I didn't butcher the name. This is one of my favorite decks, and I haven't actually bought it out for a while because I keep getting new decks. And I hope to get them for the rest of my life because they have so much, they're special in their each way, each separate way. But I do want to also say, as I'm taking this out and maybe shuffling it a bit, that yesterday, the 3rd of June, was the official end of the Mercury retrograde, and it's stationed direct. Now that doesn't mean it's going to be still not a little bit foggy, if you will, and it'll take some momentum as we go through the shadowy period. Supposedly by the 19th, Father's Day, it'll be completely clear, but of course we're going to start feeling it. I mean, I already do. And last month was a travesty as far as my uploads. And then in the last 2 days, because we're on the 4th and I've only uploaded 2 because it takes over a day to upload, it never does that, just during my Mercury retrograde phases. So I go with it and ask for your loving, compassionate patience and support. And just know that I'll bring them out as soon and as much as I possibly can. So yes, we had the Mercury retrograde that originally started, see the speech is still kind of funky. The retrograde originally started in the sign of Gemini, and we're in Gemini season, and Gemini is all about the mind. They're an air sign, and the communication skills they have, which are off the charts. They're usually very well known for teaching and guiding, and they want to support people, and they have an open mind as to who they are around and the people they want to involve themselves with. They love fun, they love adventure, they love freedom. They're, duality sign, they're a mutable sign. So once again, open to things, willing to change. A lot of times in a lifetime of a Gemini, they have many, many different, perhaps occupations. Even if it's the same one, they may go to different areas to pursue that. Witty, fast, Mercury ruled. So this Mercury was definitely affecting both the Gemini and the Mercury ruled sign of Virgo. And of course, all of us. And as a fellow air sign, very much so. Mostly my business and the rescheduling and the replanning and the canceling of appointments, which happens pretty much every time for me on Mercury retrogrades. And it does indicate that is one of the things that happens. But technology, transportation was okay. That's not actual. Yeah, it's not really wood. But you get the idea. I've had it where the day of the Mercury retrograde starting, my car has stopped at an intersection with lights coming up, and it was like, what, what? It was just fine, and it ends up being, you know, obviously something that can be fixed, but kind of alarming at the same time. So enough about that. I am happy that we're moving forward. So a lot of plans for you, Taurus, and every one of your, you know, associates are going to be kind of coming together, meeting of the minds, and feeling like, whoa. Because right now, Mercury is actually in your sign, Taurus. It went from Gemini to your sign, and it'll be in your sign, I believe, and please don't quote me, until the 13th or 14th, when it then goes back into Gemini through July something. So, yeah. Now, the other thing about you is we have Venus in your sign, and it's a beautiful place to be because Venus is your ruling planet. And Venus is sensuality, it's money, it's luck, it's magic, it's relationships. Now, Jupiter changed signs on May 10th, went into Aries, and then following that last weekend, we had Mars going to Aries, so that's going to happen through July 5th. And I'll tell you, there's such a sense of power and strength and fiery energy that's coming for us. And it's for me, it's fantastic because I was honestly praying and asking for guidance to help me with my my momentum, my energy levels. I think I've told many people now, I had a full hip replacement surgery on March 3rd, and it went fantastic. But nevertheless, I had to stay home, and sometimes I really didn't want to be home, and I was ready to go back to work, but I couldn't. And everything is fantastic. I feel amazing, and I'm not sore when I do my job. I've been back to work for like 7 weeks now. So that happened in an incredibly beautiful way. The power, if you have any placements, Taurus in Aries, you'll feel it even more, but we all get to enjoy this fiery, ambitious, kind of impulsive, almost, you know, sometimes very combative with Mars, because Mars is the ruling planet of Aries anyway. It's very, you know, comfortable there. And I know a lot of Aries are amazing people. I love them. I have a moon in Aries, so I was going to say, if you have any placements at all, or maybe I did, you may feel it more. It's just a time to be, first of all, try to keep away from people you know are combative. I think that's number one rule of thumb. And then secondly, if you catch yourself starting to lose it, which is unusual for you, which it may or may not be, just, honestly, please do that old rule of thumb where you count or take deep breaths, because you don't want to end up saying something or hurting somebody. It's not really what you're about, but it can happen during Mars in Aries, okay? So, and Jupiter expands pretty much everything, so I don't know. Another really huge portion of this is that there's a conjunction with Aries and Libra, in the sense that, you know, they're polar opposites, and there's always this connection, and that's the 7th house of relationships. So relationships will be a very big theme for the next year, really. We have a little dip out of Jupiter being in Aries the end of October 28th through December 20th, I believe. Goes back into your sign through May 16th of next year to 2023. Relationships will come through some really beautiful changes and maybe commitments that, for Aries, a lot of times, not always something they rush into. They think about it, and once they get in, they're in. But they definitely love their freedom. So within relationships with a lot of Aries, I think there's still this understanding, and you would get it from Libras. They would definitely want to work with you and be as fair and just as possible. People may not think so, because Libras love relationships of all kinds, but they love their independence too. So it's actually a very beautiful combination, the Aries and Libra, you know, match as well. But so remember that this month could be highlighted in such beautiful, beautiful ways romantically. Now we go on to the full moon that happens on the 14th in Sagittarius. And that is a fire sign as well, Taurus. And that is going to light your fire, because it is a very positive, optimistic, Jupiter rules Sagittarius. So they're always thinking of the best outcome. They are very much about higher learning. They love travel. Travel might be very much on the agenda for you. If you haven't already made your arrangements, I think it will very much be a incentive during that week. because it doesn't have to happen right on the full moon, but you'll be definitely thinking about it and culminating the plans. And you'll be better off because, you know, Mercury retrograde tends to mix things up. And yeah, I would still always double check everything when you're going to go somewhere, especially if it's foreign lands, which represent Sagittarius as well. But I also just feel like it's just a fun time in it. And yes, there is a square to the planet Neptune. Neptune is the planet of the underworld, the unseen, the overzealous, idealistic planet that can really make you think, as you see the world with the rose-colored glasses, that things are far better than they are. But maybe not so much. But I'm going to tell you what I believe. Why not? Go for it. As long as you know that, you know, there could have other outcomes, which, by the way, as a Taurus, you are usually always very grounded and practical in how you think and how you operate. And so I don't think that'll affect you as much. And I will say that water works really well with the earth element. So the Neptunian energy, if anything, is going to just spark maybe some more fun and inspiration in your life. So yeah, you can do that, and you can make things happen that way. That's how we manifest, you know, and just dreaming up things that, wow, I could do that. Why not? Other people do it, you know, why not me? And just being really steadfast about that, like you are, Taurus. And this beautiful Venus in your sign isn't hurting anything, you know. It might make things far better than you can imagine, you know, and might come into some great money-making opportunities and all those beautiful things that expand, like when Jupiter is in Aries. This is business. This is serious stuff. It's like, this is happening as far as Aries is concerned. Even if they've never partaken in a particular field, if their mind is set on that, they're going to do it. And then they're going to learn, maybe through hard knocks, but not always. Sometimes it can go incredibly smoothly because they had so much enthusiastic, you know, energy about it. And then we have the new moon that's happening on the 28th in Cancer. So that, once again, I think it's going to be so sweet for you, Taurus. Cancer is about home. They love home, family, familiarity. They like to make their houses beautiful. They like to, maybe you're selling a home and building a new one. I mean, this is a transformational kind of thing. When it's a new moon, it's a new beginning. I always invite everybody to write down their intentions. There's something so much more powerful about thinking, feeling, and writing. It generally always happens. At least for me, it has. And it can be even the most mundane things. Got to do this, got to get that taken care of. Writing it down, you know, it's just, it's an interesting phenomenon and study with the psyche and so forth. But using all the senses, you know, not just thoughts and smells, but and that's very much a part of who you are. But you know, the motion, the physicality of it. I think there'll be a lot of decent physical aspects of this month for you, if you catch my drift. So take them in, indulge, and know that we're in Gemini season. And then on the 21st, it turns into Cancer season. Before that new moon, it's about a week before, the summer solstice, the longest day of the year, when we then invite the sun and the fun and the vacations and the family outings, and there's just more concentrated maybe energy and focus on family, particularly during the Cancer season. So I think it'll be extremely nice for all of us in many ways. Yeah, there may be some ups and downs. There's some other aspects happening I'm not going to go into because they're not the most relevant, but they are there. I didn't mention that Saturn went stationed retrograde, not direct. Saturn has stationed retrograde today, June 4th through the 22nd of October. This is internalizing. Once again, it's the outer planet, but Saturn is the constriction, the focus, the you know, not so much fun energy, but very practical when it comes to needing to get from point A to point B. When it's in retrograde, it's lessened a little bit, but it's more about really being very honest with yourself. And if you haven't had a chance to do whatever the house this particular Saturn energy falls into for you, it's going to make you think more about it. Yeah, you want to be smart, you want to be careful, you know, Saturn will make sure of it, but it'll be eased up a little bit so that you yourself realize the importance and the gratification that comes afterwards for being like that, and for keeping your eye on the prize, and for being very focused, because that's what Saturn's about, you know. And time is a very valuable commodity, and it's also known Saturn is known as the god of time, you know? Yeah, I think about it more than I ever did. Every moment is gone. It's like, oh my gosh, and we're in June. It's the 6th month. Well, Christmas will be here, right? I know, I'm sorry. I won't bring that up. But let us pick your featured love connection for today that Spirit would like you to know about. So I always ask Spirit to please guide us with the best, most important guidance in the highest good for everybody involved regarding this particular connection. And I do want to also say, as I'm shaking the dice here a little bit longer, please watch your sun, moon, and rising or ascendant readings, because they get that much more in depth about who you are. There's there's 12 different houses from your natal chart. There's 8 planets. Sometimes you'll have a planet in 2 or 3 of your houses, but there's a lot about you that's so much more than just the beautiful sun sign aspect of you. Your first house, the month you're born, your birthday, your dreams and desires and your personality traits and so forth. So for you, beautiful Taurus, your specific, Capricorn, my. Now, you know, maybe you don't know, Pluto has been in retrograde since the latter part of May, I believe it's the 29th. And that's once again about that transformation. Pluto has been in Capricorn for a while. Once again, when it's backward, it's about just really, really sitting with yourself, even if it's on a vacation. Time alone, time to take the deep breaths, calm yourself, ground yourself, which is something that comes pretty natural to you. Preferably in a beautiful, scenic, you know, nature kind of atmosphere. That'll be very conducive for you for really working through your desires, your important revelations about who you are now, where you want to be, how you're getting there. All of these things are very potent, you know, and here we have your fellow earth sign, Capricorn, who's always extremely interested in success and, you know, motivated by resources and ways to improve and succeed. And like I said, their main mantra is, you know, I'm going to climb the highest hill or mountain and I'm going to get to the other side, because to me, a challenge is an opportunity, right? These are the kind of people you want to be around, Taurus, because they have the same kind of fundamental belief systems as you. And hard work achieves very much. Now, there's a difference as well, I think, for a lot of people after the last couple of years. What does the term hard work really mean? Because a lot of times for me, what I'm doing now, what I do for my living as a massage therapist, it's work, but I absolutely love it. So I feel like a lot of earth signs are devoted and involved in things that they find incredibly worthwhile. And so they will work tirelessly and very long hours to expand and to grow and to extend this you know, this part of their life that they see as being the reason that they're able to live comfortably, that they live in luxury, that they appreciate what they have, you know. So that's what you have with Capricorn. Capricorn is the cardinal sign, like Aries, that represents the season of winter. So in a way, when you think about it now, Aries is the beginning of spring, and it's the new and the sprouts coming through and the ideas and the first sign and all the things that are very appropriate and, you know, make a lot of sense with the characteristics of Aries. Capricorn has a more sullen, maybe behind the scenes, not necessarily being in your face like this is going on, that fiery, you know, spirit. But boy, they have drive in their own way, and they definitely like to begin and innovate things, and once again, work hard. So I find the two of you, the meeting of the minds could be extremely important in areas of work, yes, relationships, yes, romance, yes, long-term romance. Anything with Earth, they tend to want to do for the long term. They plant the seeds for the long term. So I like that a lot. Otherwise, yeah, maybe something happening, because I do want to bring this up. We had the eclipses that were both in your sign as the solar eclipse, and then Scorpio, the full moon eclipse. Wow, we're still reeling from the energies of that, and we will for months to come, 6 months and longer. So perhaps as the story unfolds with certainly your new moon, with inviting new things, new people, new circumstances and opportunity, along with the cleared pathway with Mercury moving forward, you're starting this new adventure, this new relationship, whatever it is, and it's probably going to culminate and really be where you can see the results and really feeling good about it by Capricorn season. And that's at the latter part of December, like the 21st of December through January 20th. So, very interesting. Otherwise, you're just feeling that secondary earthly thing. It's really prominent right now for you, and it feels good. It feels solid. So that's the main, love connection for you, and it could be family, it could be friendships, it could be pets, it could be your love to, your hard work and your dedication that you are feeling extremely happy and proud about. But let's read the messages for the first, the 4 weeks of the month. So the first card with this beautiful deck of the Gilded Tarot is, oh my gosh, wow, I love that for you. It's the Wheel of Fortune. And I'm telling you, when you have a new moon and you have a solar eclipse in your sign, you're going to have the eclipses in your sign through I believe it's May of next year. Don't quote me on that either, please. I know that Jupiter goes into your sign on May 16th next year, 2023, because it leaves Aries. But this is once again this karmic, very much a part of life cycle where, when things maybe have gone down and weren't really as fruitful or as abundant as you had hoped, the only way is up. Whenever you're down and out, the only way is up. It's a song that I used to sing a long time ago as a child, like growing up with my family. And it's true though, everything has cycles, and your cycle is here, and the productivity, the grace of the universe and source is really shining a light on you, and it's upright, and it means that you can expect and revel in the abundance coming to you. Okay, and I will mention that Uranus has been in your sign as well since 2018. That's the sign of unpredictability. That's the out of the box. I'm not conforming. I'm not gonna, I'm doing it my way. I want freedom. I'm very masculine. You happen to be more feminine with the Venus, influence as your ruling planet. Not to say anything other than that we each have a feminine and a masculine duality within us, and this will cater to that, which is more of a sensual, it's a loving kind of heart, versus the mind, which is more masculine, and this idea and these inventive things that Uranus will bring forth with technology, with medicine, all this stuff that really has been prevalent on this earth as a whole when it entered your sign in 2018. I mean, think about it. It's remarkable how accurate and congruent astrology is with our lives when we take a look at it. And so I love that. That's right off the bat. That's a beautiful omen and a way to take on June, because June is a 6 month, which is 6 represents the sign of Venus, the planet of Venus, excuse me. That's your ruling planet. There's a lot of love to be had. There's a lot of excitement. There's a lot of energy. There's a lot of momentum. And it's happening. Second week, just before that oh, this is gorgeous too. Second week before that full moon, and including the full moon, because it's on the 14th with Sagittarius, is the Hermit. This is the wise, the wisdom, the knowledge, the knowing, the intuition and you're a very intuitive sign, by the way. I think it's because you're so in tune to the ground and the earth and the natural aspects of life. You don't need a bunch of excess stuff. I mean, I'm sure you love to live in luxury and beauty. I've known a lot of people that do. You would like to plant your own garden and cook with your own foods, right from the earth, you know, that you planted yourself as an example. But this is also a very wise sage, if you will, that we have within ourselves, or that we may meet, or that we are more, you know, in tune to, when we're more at peace, more retreated. I think a lot of that was happening during this retrograde. We tend to go inward, especially, and we have things that don't happen like we planned, so we have more time at home, maybe, or in a situation when we can really focus and listen to spirit. And the idea is that this beautiful lantern that this sage is, this wise person, which I believe to be you and all of us, is there's a star. And that's interesting because, you know, the star in Tarot is the card that represents Aquarius. And of course, today we've had Saturn that's been in Aquarius for a long time. Will be there through all of next year, retrograding. So once again, internalizing, really thinking, really being as realistic as possible, which I think comes extremely natural for you, Taurus. So, and lastly, I'll say that it represents the sign of Virgo. Yet the other, you have the Capricorn influence, you've got the Virgo influence. That time of year is coming up at the end of August 21st, 22nd to September 22nd. Oh, yeah, it seems as though you're going to be gravitating a lot. And you know what's interesting, which I knew, and I'm going to repeat it. Every retrograde this year, and there's 3 in almost, well, there's a start of one, it's I think the 28th or 29th of December, that goes the full month of January, and then on because of the shadow. But all of the retrogrades start in an air sign. The first one of the year was in Aquarius. I'm speaking Mercury because we had a long stay of retrograde Venus in your sign, not your sign, Taurus, I'm sorry, in the sign of Capricorn. But the Mercury retrograde started in Aquarius. Now we have this one that started in Gemini, ending in, that's what it was. I believe, I'm not even remembering right now. It's been too long and I wanted to kind of put that behind me. Every Mercury retrograde will have a beginning sign that it starts in an air sign and ends in the earth sign. Forgive me, my mind's starting to lose itself again. That's what's happening. It's not quite clear enough. I've told you it's going to be a little bit, it'll be about a week. But yeah, so that's a kind of an interesting coinkydink, I would say. So yeah, that's what's going to happen with the Libra coming up next at the end of August. Don't want to talk about that. So love this, love it a lot. Really losing my voice. Something very important about the chakra right now, to be able to speak. Mercury retrograde, possibly, but they're both major arcanas, and that's powerful. That's really powerful right off the bat too. That's spirit wanting to know this. Very straightforward, and to me, it's all blessings. It's beautiful, beautiful things. So, third week, wow. It's heavy duty, beautiful, strong stuff. This is the Emperor. This is the Aries energy, and this is what we're in right now. The Mars, you know, just bam in your face. Leadership, a lot of masculinity, really. So you may be around perhaps a father figure, or, you know, it doesn't matter what gender you are, or even the person actually. It could be a father or a grandfather or some male influence, but it could also just be a very strong, energetically wise, you know, female. So, but Emperor is Aries all the way. Emperor is taking the lead. Emperor is standing up and feeling strong and feeling exactly the energy that I'm speaking to you about for the month. So that's pretty incredible. And for some reason, I guess after the, you know, full moon, where it shines a light in that fiery, beautiful, optimistic sign of Sagittarius, that you are really feeling after this pensive time to really think the most that you possibly can about what it is you need to accomplish or to manifest or to sit with, you know, prior to moving full tilt ahead, like mid June, and that's here we go. And you're on top of it. People are listening, and they're wanting to follow your lead. I can promise you that. You will be in the spotlight in some way. And the fourth and final week, which will have the new moon, which I think is once again going to be very, very emotional, but very fulfilling, and I feel romantic. I do. And I don't always say that. I always say all forms of love. I feel a definite sense of romance, as well as a very strong, feeling an urge to be around the home and to be around family and people that you're familiar with, children, thinking of children, talking about having children, whatever the case may be. And you have Judgment. Well, 4 major arcana. That's the first so far for the June readings, and that's really powerful. And Judgment is the horns being blown, and the decisions were made, and it's all perfect, and it's what's meant to be. It's also very karmic. So between the Judgment and the Wheel of Fortune, it's absolutely whatever's happening, whatever's coming forth, whatever's breaking through, whatever messages from the very powerful Taurus, your sign, and Scorpio, of deep, deepest aspects of ourselves that wants to change and come out, resilient and like the phoenix rising from the ashes. This is what's going on. And, whatever judgments are made is absolutely feeling good to you. It could be a small thing like, what curtains you want to get for your house, where you kind of redo it a little bit during this nesting home time, with the Cancerian energy. Or huge. Building a house, buying a house, moving to a house, moving to another state, with the Sagittarius foreign aspect to it. I mean, it's been decided. It is fate. It is destiny. And then you do what you want. Once that comes along, you make choices even then, because these are just indicators and guidance and, messages of importance, but they're energies. So you utilize them in the way that you find appropriate for you. Wow, this is an incredible reading, I must say. I'm happy I picked this deck for you. Love this deck. Now, let's go into a really nice oracle. There's a lot I have, and I'm, just wanting to, let's go with the heart. When we're talking so much about this emotional part and the fact that there's this Cancerian energy, which is definitely about love and love of family and, our close ones, it just kind of rings true to me to bring this out. So this is the Psychic Tarot of the Heart, which I've used quite a bit, but I really, really love it. And ironically, it does have all the different elements, as well as major arcana and the chakras, depending on what card you pick. So for the month of June, beautiful Taurus, I'm really feeling good for you right now. And it's a real, just a calming kind of, it's happening. You waited, you were patient, you put forth whatever it is you needed to, because that's what the law of attraction is about. What you're putting out is what comes back. And you've known this, and you've sat with this, and you've meditated on it, and you've been called to recognize a lot of things maybe that you hadn't prior to, I don't know, this year, but certainly in the last few years. We've all been brought to a different place, I think, on a spiritual level, as well as just our everyday life situations, right? So for you, beautiful Taurus, we have balance. Woo! Well, there's that beautiful, Libra from the Jupiter in Aries connection. Finding the balance in all things is so important, and Libras thrive on that. Everyone thinks, oh, they're so balanced. I'm a Libra, not so much. Always want to be. I feel my absolute best. I feel completely whole and full when I am, but it's a constant action on my part to make this occur. Even if it is inaction, it's still an action of wanting and requiring and putting forth the different energies necessary for that. And this is in all realms. It's about your body, your mind, your soul, your relationships. It's number 14, and that's the date of the full moon. Maybe something that seemed a little out of, certainly with the Mercury retrograde. And now with this Wheel of Fortune, things just like whether it's money, and I think it could be. I really, really do. I feel like there's a few beautiful opportunities for windfalls, but you got to be in the right place at the right time, right? I can't promise these things, and I'm not saying that. I'm letting you know this is the kind of reading and energies that promote that, so spend $1 or $2 on the lottery. Who knows, right? You don't know. You can't win unless you play, as they say. But I'll tell you what, this is, it's beautiful. And it's relationship. And seeing and working with a partner in a fair and balanced way. For the sake of sanity and just overall well-being, right? So I'm going to read to you what, I don't know if you actually saw the picture. I hope it's not really blurry. I'm going to read to you what it says, though, too, because I'll tell you, this is serious stuff here. I love it. I personally, like I said, as a Libra, I love the thought of balance, and I'm feeling very balanced today, and haven't been. It's been a little bit of a roller coaster, but I can reel it in a little bit sooner than I used to when I was younger. So, what did we say that was? 14. Same day as the good old... Wait, but it's black. It's a major arcana. Oh my gosh. You got 5 major arcanas when you have the outer, frame of it being black. That represents the major arcana. Man, I'm getting goosebumps because it's unusual. And 5 has changed too, by the way. Absolutely. So let's get to major arcana 14. Almost there, I promise. It's exciting. I'm very excited for you. Okay, so the key words are renew, acknowledge, compromise with the balance, equality, harmony, and healing. Healing is such an emphasis this year, and it certainly was with Jupiter in Pisces, and remains because Neptune is in Pisces, and that still kind of has something to do with all of that and our ability to believe it enough to achieve it, because that's a huge part of any transformation we make, is honestly believing it, like to our core, to the deepest part of our hearts. And then also, Jupiter will come back into Pisces between the end of October and December. So once again, there might be something that isn't quite completely healed, but you have an opportunity, and it'll bring that balance into play. Balance is important in all aspects of life, but it is especially important in relationships, both with others and with yourself. This card suggests that you examine your relationships to see if they are truly in balance. A healthy relationship should include time to be together as well as time apart. And we were talking about that, the independence aspect of it within a relationship. You don't want to be co-independent. I've done it. I know what that's like. It's been a while. But it's one of those things that it comes naturally for me in a lot of ways. So I have to be conscientious of that and remind myself that that's not necessarily the best form of a relationship, right? So anyway, and also take time in a peaceful solitude, as it is said in the beautiful Hermit, Major Arcana, to renew your acquaintance with yourself. Acknowledge what you bring to the relationship and what your partner brings to the relationship. Ensure that you both play an equal role and that no one person dominates. Now, it sounds easy, right? But we know it takes a constant work. This is the time with Aries, Jupiter in Aries, to expand that ability, to really focus on the opportunity of that and make it happen, and do whatever it takes. And don't feel rushed, because you got basically a year with this opportunity and with the influence of Libra as that relationship component for Jupiter in the sign of Aries. And the balance. Very, very, very synchronistic. I love it. Now we're going to go to your rune, and I'm going to let you know that I am studying to, memorize the runes. And I'm doing okay, but I have a long way to go, so I have my beautiful flashcards. So I will shake the bag, take a nice deep breath. It feels so good. Every time I do it, I think, why don't I do this more? Well, I do it more than I ever used to, but it is such an essential part of our feeling balanced and well. Now, This looks like a pitchfork. It is an alphabet, other than the English. And it is the, what is this? Oh my gosh, I'm serious. It's crazy. I say it every day. The Greek? I believe it's from the Greek. Good heavens. Yeah, I need to study it more. But what's cool is I don't have to think too much. I will compare the picture with the particular letter. And as I said, I see it as like a pitchfork. But what does that say? I want to say, oh my gosh, from my memory, because I haven't done it enough yet, but I honestly want to say W. Let's see where I'm at with that. It's right the second one under. I'm so wrong, it's not even funny. But you know what's really weird? Okay, this is crazy. And this is when I learn more as association because it's so off the beaten path. The letter is the letter Z, which of course this looks nothing like in the English language. But more importantly, it's saying Elgies. So its pronunciation is Elhaz. Elhaz. It's A-L-G-I-Z, but it's Elhaz, and it's rune 15. And that is a 1 plus a 5, which becomes a 6. So there's that Venus influence, which is your major ruling planet, which is also Libra's ruling planet, which is hugely about balance, which is hugely about beauty, which is hugely about love, which is hugely about gifts and magic and money. And this month being the 6th month. The theme is elk, or in parentheses, guardians. And this could be our angels and our higher powers, you know, and the guardians that are watching over us at all times. But as I mentioned, it could be a father paternal type of figure in your life that's predominant this month. And yeah, Father's Day's coming there on the what is it, the 19th, the day that, you know, I would say the shadow period is supposedly completely gone from Mercury retrograde. But it could be just whether you're a female or a male, it could be the paternal and the masculine part of you coming forth strong, vindicated, you know, powerful. The keywords: refuge, protection, and safety. Sanctity, or excuse me, sanctuary. Well, that's about the retreat we were talking about, the hermit, needing time to be alone, still, in peace, in the garden, in nature. Guardians and trust. Magical working, protection, summoning guardians, creating a safe space, building good instincts. Well, that comes from silence and listening and building on your own beautiful intuitive qualities that you have, Taurus. The key phrases are safe and protected space. Take advantage of natural defenses. Allies with your best interests at heart. Be alert and keep your wits. Okay, maybe because of these incredible opportunities coming along, you don't want to miss them. And they will be there with that Wheel of Fortune. And the judgment is made. It is done. It's time to transform and move up and start again, basically. Okay? And that new moon didn't hurt any in Gemini. That happened on May 30th. So it's still affecting us. And it's about communicating and getting out there and having your good instincts. So fantastic. I love this reading. I hope you resonate. But give it time, okay? Because it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to happen today. A lot of this may have already happened, but this is beautiful. I love you. I appreciate you being here. If you did like it at all, just push that like button. Become a subscriber. It's free. There's no cost. You won't get inundated with any emails, I promise. And you're so supportive to me for doing that. I want to build this channel, and I appreciate anybody and everybody that does that. So in ending, take extremely good care of yourself. Have a really, really beautiful month, okay? Enjoy. And hope to see you in July. Until then, take care and bye for now.